I'm Peter Lowe, macOS Product Line Manager at Apple Computer, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the great new features of macOS 8.5, the latest, greatest release of the macOS from Apple Computer. We're going to be talking about the great new innovative Sherlock search capabilities, the fastest in the industry network copy performance, some of the great things that we're doing with AppleScript to help customers automate everything they might want to do on their computer, and a wide variety of other features that are going to make macOS 8.5 the must-have upgrade for your Macintosh computer. Let's dive right in and talk about the new Sherlock capabilities of macOS 8.5. With Sherlock, you have the ability to search a wide variety of different kinds of information from your Macintosh computer. For example, using Sherlock, I can search the entire internet. It's easy to use. I can type in simple English language queries. For example, why is the sky blue? A question we all get on a fairly regular basis. You'll notice that with Sherlock, I have a list of a wide variety of information search providers that exist on the internet, such as AltaVista, Excite, InfoSeek, and others. When I click on the search button, Sherlock dispatches this query to all of those different search providers at the same time. And then as soon as any of those search providers returns a list of found items, Sherlock presents that list in a cohesive, intuitive fashion in this list view that's very similar to the interface that the user is used to in the Finder. Sherlock is very, very fast because it responds as soon as any of the search providers responds, and it's interactive because it continues to list all the various different found items as the other search providers provide them back to Sherlock. If I click on one of the items in Sherlock's list view, I can see a summary of the information that has been found in the bottom panel with a link that goes directly to the information on the internet. And in fact, I can simply double-click on the link in the list window, and it will bring my browser forward and take me directly to that site. In this case, detailed information about why is the sky blue. Let's look at another example. With Sherlock, I can also look for information like I'd like to find a photo of Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. And again, using Sherlock, I'm able to take advantage of all of the various search providers that are out there in the industry. Another element of Sherlock that's very important to help you zero in the information you're looking for is its relevancy ranking. Sherlock uses relevancy ranking to take you directly to the information you're looking for. So in this case, we find art for kids, a link that has, in fact, a picture of the Mona Lisa displayed right on the page. We can also look for very current and perhaps more technical information. For example, the internet is full of information that's changing on a very regular basis. And I'm able to take advantage of these information resources with Sherlock. So I could look for information on pricing and availability of USB products, for example, peripheral products for iMac. And specifically, I'm interested in iMation's SuperDrive. And when I do a search, again, Sherlock provides me with an up-to-date list of all of the items out there on the internet that match the search criteria I've provided, again, ranked by relevancy so that I can get directly to the information that I'm looking for. In this case, a roundup of all the products that were introduced at Macworld Expo this past summer. Another great way in which we've integrated internet features into macOS 8.5 is by allowing the Finder to take full advantage of the internet as well. So for example, if I have a site that I intend to visit on a fairly regular basis, for example, information from Yahoo about iMation, I can drag that link directly to my desktop. And when I do, it becomes an internet alias. And I can actually rename that alias anything I choose. For example, info on USB. And when I double-click on that internet alias, it will take me directly to that website. I have a few other examples here of other kinds of internet aliases. So for example, I have an internet alias here for Apple's site. But the Finder also knows about other types of internet addresses as well. So for example, I can double-click on a friend's email address, in this case Robert's email, and in that case the Macintosh knows to launch my mail package and open up a new email that I can then title info for you, and I can write my note to my colleague and send it off very, very easily. Web internet aliases will automatically launch your browser and take you directly to the URL that the internet alias points at. In this case, we're pointing directly to a Japanese website for Nikkei Mac. Nikkei Mac is a Japanese computer publication, and this demonstrates another feature of Mac OS 8.5, specifically multilingual internet access. With Mac OS 8.5, you can truly browse the World Wide Web because Mac OS 8.5 has the ability to correctly render foreign language text like Japanese, traditional and simplified Chinese, Korean, the major European languages, and many others. So no matter what site you might go to on the internet, you're always going to be able to deal with the information you find there. So for example, I can follow links. Again, I can see all of the text rendered correctly, and of course any graphics that are embedded in the site. In this case, we're taking a look at the very successful launch of the iMac in Japan. Let's take a look at another great feature of Sherlock. With Mac OS 8.5, not only are you able to search the entire internet for the information that's out there, but you're also able to take advantage of all the information you may have on your local system as well. Sherlock uses indexing technology to allow you to quickly and easily search all of the information on your hard drive. So for example, I can type a query like cool new USB products for iMac. And in this case, I especially want to look for information about printers. And I click the Find button. And Sherlock is not only going to search for information on my hard drive that has that query in its file title, but it's actually going to search based on the contents of my documents as well. Again, Sherlock's very, very fast because it's able to take advantage of indexing technology built into Mac OS 8.5. And it provides me with a complete list of all the documents on my hard drive that match the search criteria that I've specified. It also ranks all of the documents by relevance, again, based on the search query that I've specified. I'd like to zero in on exactly the information that I'm looking for. So not only can I see a list that's ranked by relevance, but I can also get a summary of the information within my documents as well to make sure that it's the right document that I'm looking for. So by holding the Control key down, I get a contextual menu that gives me commands that are specifically appropriate to the item I'm selecting. One of the new items we've added is Summarize File to Clipboard. When I choose that, it takes advantage of any translation software I have built into my system and provides me with a short 2 or 3 paragraph summarization of the information that appears within that document. In this case, Hewlett-Packard today announced the HP printer cable kit for the iMac. So quickly and easily, I've been able to zero in on exactly the information that I'm looking for on my computer. Another great feature of Sherlock is the ability to make your searches persistent so that you can go back and look for the most up-to-date information on any given topic. For example, I might want to search the internet on a regular basis for information about great Canadian music artists. This might be information I look for on a regular basis. So instead of just doing the search now and only seeing today's information, I can actually save this search criteria and create a document on my desktop or anywhere else on my system about great Canadian music or just great music. So I'm going to save that to my hard drive, and then anytime I want to see all the current information on the internet relating to Canadian musical groups, I can simply double-click on this icon. Sherlock will come up and do a search on the internet looking for all of the information that relates to my search query. And again, it's ranking all of the information by relevance so I can quickly and easily get directly to the information on the internet that I'm looking for. With macOS 8.5, we've also focused squarely on improving system performance. For example, network copy performance is faster than ever with macOS 8.5. In fact, it's even faster than Windows NT. Here's a demonstration of the network copy performance. We're on location in the Apple Campus Performance Lab to demonstrate the new network copy performance improvements in macOS 8.5. I'm here with Bill Hall, the macOS Performance Product Manager, and we're going to give you a demonstration of the new copy performance features. So we're going to grab a 185 megabyte file and copy it to the server on both of these two computers. 3, 2, 1, go. What we're seeing here is macOS 8.5 connecting to an AppleShare IP server and Windows NT connecting to a Windows NT server. And what you're seeing is very quickly the macOS 8.5 machine gets out in front and in fact in just a few more seconds is finished copying the file while the NT machine is still working. In fact, let's see that demo again. There's the file on the server. Now we're going to grab a 150 megabyte file and copy it to the server. 3, 2, 1, go. And once again, early macOS 8.5 is out in front. Windows NT is trying hard to catch up, but it's just not doing it. So what you're seeing here is macOS 8.5 optimized to take full advantage of 100 megabit Ethernet networking to provide the fastest copy available. And once again, it's complete ahead of NT.
Hi, I'm Sal Segoyan, AppleScript Product Manager for Apple Computer. Thank you for joining me today with this overview of the new AppleScript in macOS 8.5. Among some of the new exciting features that we have in store for you are native AppleScript with a much faster AppleScript, much faster in its execution and between applications. We also have a lot more scriptable features, including networking and printing. And we have a new exciting feature called folder actions, where folders can contain scripts or have scripts attached to them and perform actions when they're opened, closed, or things are placed into them or removed from them. So let's begin and take a look at some of the new folder action abilities and some of the scripts that ship with macOS 8.5. On my desktop, I have a folder called Smith Project. And inside the folder are some other folders and files within those folders. And I'd like to make an interactive note that I could leave for a coworker who's also working on the project with me. Instead of sticking a sticky note on the screen, we can use a folder action script that will respond when the folder is opened, and it will display a message to my coworker. To attach a folder action script, I merely need to hold down the Control key, and you can see the cursor change to the contextual menu cursor. I'll place it on the folder, click and hold. Go to Attach Folder Action, and within the System folder, there is a folder called Scripts, and within that folder, there's a folder called Folder Action Scripts. The folder action script that I'm looking for is called Open, Show Comments and Dialog. I'll click Open, and now the Smith Project folder has a folder action script attached to it. And if you look at the icon of the folder, you can see that it's been badged with a small scroll icon. This means that the folder has a folder action script attached. This particular folder action script will look at the comments in the information window of the folder, and if there are any, will display them when the folder is opened. So let me leave some comments for my coworker so that he knows what I'm going to be saying about the new files. Bob, be sure to check, you have to spell properly, these files as we made some changes. Sal. I'll close that information window, and now those comments, of course, are associated with the folder. When I open the folder action script attached to it looks for comments, and if there are any, displays them in this dialog window and offers Bob 3 choices. Bob could continue to do what he's currently doing and ignore the information. If the folder's open again, it will keep responding with that same information. Or Bob can choose to open the comments window, make his own comments, delete or edit the comments that are in there. The third option, Bob could choose to clear the comments, and it would erase the comments out of the comments field. From that point on, if the folder's open, it will display nothing since the script will look for comments, and if there are any, display them. If not, it will not display any. So there's an example of a simple folder action that can be used to communicate between people working on the same project. Let's look at a couple more folder actions. Here's one for automatically backing up any files that you place into a folder. I'll create a new folder. We'll call it Source. Let me move that over here onto our desktop. And I'll size the window so that we can see. Place it beneath it. And I'll create another folder called Backup. Now this folder could be on a server, could be in different locations, or even on the same machine. And I'll make the window here so that we can see this. And I'll take an alias of the backup folder, place it into the source folder, and I'll place a tilde and an exclamation point before the name of that. That identifies that as being a backup folder. I'll go to the source folder, hold down the Control key, get the contextual menu, again choose Attach Folder Action, and this time I'll choose the Duplicate to Folder script. The source folder now has a folder action script attached to it. And when items are placed into it, it will automatically back up those items into folders, other backup folders that are identified with an alias inside the source folder. So let me get some files here. We'll take these two files, and I'll copy them into the source folder, and you'll watch it automatically back up. And there it goes. So there's a script that can be used for automatic duplication or backup of your files across networks or on the same machine. Let's look at another example of how folder actions can be used to make your life on the Mac a little bit more convenient for window management. Here's a folder that I have open. It's called Smith Project. And let's remove the Smith Project script that we just had. And inside the Smith Project folder, you'll notice that there's 3 other folders. I'm going to label 2 of the folders as being essential. I'll use the first label that's available, which is called Essential. And I want these folders to open when I open the main folder, the Smith Project folder. To do that, I'll attach a folder action script called Open Items Labeled 1. Now when I open the main folder, the other 2 folder windows open because they've been labeled with the Essential label from the File menu. They could be a file, it could be a server alias. Any item placed inside that folder that was labeled Essential would open when the main folder was opened. You can also have folder actions that control the way that windows display on your desktop. Let's attach another folder action script to this folder. And for this particular script, we're going to use a move command, align open subfolder windows. And now, when I move the main window, the open subfolder windows move with the main window and align up with it automatically. And as you can see, if I size the main window, the subfolder windows also resize to match. Very handy. Let's add one more folder action script. And this particular folder action script will close any subfolder windows that are currently open when the main window is closed. So here we go. It lines up automatically. We can line up that way, and when I close the main folder window, the others close as well. So for window management, for backing up, for passing information, folder actions can be very useful on your desktop. So let's look at a scenario where AppleScript can be used for a more complex task of creating brochures, converting a brochure to HTML format, and then backing up all the files that were created. We're going to use AppleScript, folder actions, Quark Express, and Adobe Photoshop with the PhotoScripter plugin from Main Event Software that makes Photoshop fully scriptable. Here on my desktop, I have 2 folders. One is labeled Text, which contains some text files. I have a folder containing some images and a blank brochure template. Across the bottom of my desktop, I have 3 folder action folders: Create, Convert, and Catalog. I'll take the first 2 folders and I'll place them inside the Create folder. Perhaps I'm working with a team and they've place that information there from a server, and they're waiting for me to complete my template and place it inside the folder. Once I do, the folder action script will kick in, and you'll see it bring in the template from QuarkXPress, flow in the information, and format it. AppleScript's really good at doing repetitive actions that require intelligence, and it's good for doing this kind of creation, catalogs, brochures, newspaper, those kind of publications. So you see it created the ProGrow Whoa brochure, a new folder on my desktop named Brochure Files 1. And within that we have, there's my brochure that we just created, as well as the images that were used in the document along with the brochure template. Now that I've created that brochure, I'd like to convert it to HTML format for use on the internet. To do that, I'll place the brochure file into the Convert folder, and you'll see it open up the QuarkXPress template, and using the PhotoScripter plugin, we'll open up the image, crop it to match the layout, scale it to match the layout, and then we'll read the text in the banner, render that text within Photoshop, then select the text, invert it, create a soft drop shadow, save it as a GIF, read the other text on the page, convert that all to HTML, and continue on with the remaining pages in the template. This is different than just a recording, an action, or a macro. There's a conversation going on between the two applications with regard to size of image, scale of image, placement of image, the number of characters in the text, what is the font of the text, what's the width of the text. All those decisions are being made by AppleScript depending on the interaction between the two applications. And now that it's completed, you'll see it open up in Internet Explorer, and here is our brochure created for us automatically. You see that there's the text that was created into an image, and there's our picture here in the center. And at the bottom, you can see that it got the text, and it formatted it very similarly to the way it was in the layout. Made the links for us, so there's the pro, go, the whoa, and you can see AppleScript was used to not only create the brochure, convert it to HTML format, and it was automated using folder actions on the desktop. Now that we've created the HTML files using AppleScript and folder actions, we can back them up to our server using another folder action. So here's the folder called Brochure HTML. It contains the files that were created and the images that were created as well. And I'd like to back that up to a server, and to do that, we'll place that inside of another folder action scripts folder called Catalog. And you'll see it open up a server transfer log and log in each item that's about to be sent over the server. We'll send the information to our remote backup server, and then using the Canto Media Asset System, log in all the elements into the system. So if I double click it here, you can see that there's the picture. So from start to finish, from creation to conversion to backing up, it was all automated using AppleScript and the folder actions feature with macOS 8.5.
To help customers take full advantage of macOS 8.5, Apple has included a completely new help system to provide you with simple and easy access to all the information you could want about using your Macintosh computer. It uses the same kind of navigation capabilities that the World Wide Web uses to allow you to very quickly and easily browse the information that's included about macOS 8.5. For example, you can quickly and easily look up pages on connecting to the internet and the web, and the computer can actually interact with you to help you perform some of these functions. The help system also takes advantage of Sherlock so that you can find out about, for example, switching between open programs. You can click search, and it will search through all of the information within the help database and give you a list of all of the items that most closely match the information you're looking for. For example, I can find about switching between open programs. And not only can the new help system provide you with information on the topic you're looking for, but it can actually interactively help you learn how to use the new features as well. For example, I can click on the link that says Show me the application menu, and it will provide me a guide that indicates exactly where the application menu resides. This actually takes us to another new feature of macOS 8.5, and that's the new application switcher. We now provide both the icon and the name of the active application in the menu bar, but we now also allow the user to tear off the menu bar to turn it into a simple application switching palette that they can use at any time to switch between active applications. So for example, when I'm running Sherlock or my web browser, all of these various tools appear in the application switching window, helping me to understand exactly what application I'm using at any moment in time, but also allowing me to switch between the active applications with a single click. And lastly, for very advanced users, we provided a keyboard combination that will allow you to switch between the active applications as well. macOS 8.5 is going to be the easiest upgrade you ever do. For individuals, we've made it much easier to upgrade to macOS 8.5. The installation process automatically checks your hard disk for you and actually corrects any problems it might find. It's very easy to customize the entire installation process, and you can save your customized installation to use again later. The Apple System Profiler now provides all the information you could possibly want to know about your computer. For large organizations, macOS 8.5 can actually work together with Apple's Network Assistant to support push installation across large organizations. And macOS 8.5 also supports the Simple Network Management Protocol, or SNMP, to allow you to manage your Macintoshes in networked environments along with other computers. macOS 8.5 also makes it much easier to manage and navigate information on your network and on your local computer. For example, there's a new network browser which is completely integrated and consistent with the Finder user interface, so it's extremely intuitive. You can use the new network browser to browse through the various zones in your network and find any machine you might be looking for and look at the various hard drives that might be connected to that machine. It has some additional features as well that allow you to see recent places on the network or your local system where you might have visited, or immediately jump to favorite places on your network. In addition, we've made it much easier to access information within the Finder as well. So when you're in a list view, you can actually resize the columns to focus on the information that's most important to you. And you can also reorder the columns as well. So if you're most interested in the size of your documents, or when they were modified, or their type, you can have the Finder present that information where it's most useful. Another great example of the performance improvements in macOS 8.5 are some of the new print capabilities. For example, you'll be able to take common data types such as EPS files or PostScript files or JPEG files, for example, and print them as easily as dragging them on top of a desktop printer. The information is copied directly to the printer and no application has to open. This is going to be particularly advantageous for publishing customers who are often working in very large applications but still need to be able to print their documents. We've given you just a few examples of why macOS 8.5 is going to be the greatest release of the macOS ever. Sherlock's new features give you the ability to search for information anywhere on the internet or on your local system. The network copy performance of macOS 8.5 is going to allow you to be more productive than ever before. And AppleScript's new capabilities are going to allow you to automate almost everything on your computer. All of these things combined are going to ensure that macOS 8.5 is a must-have upgrade for all Macintosh users. Thank you very much.